What up, y'all? It's your boy, Oncer Grove. This is episode 130 of Casting 495 Celebrities Worldwide, C4CW. And it is a new year. It is the year 2019. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time, man, we appreciate you, man. Hopefully you'll become a big fan of this show. Yes, this show is downloaded. Yes, this show is listened to. Yes, this show is still relatively new. But as you can see, we're into our 130th episode of C4CW. Casting 495 Celebrities Worldwide. And yes, also, we have had guests on this show and will continue to do so. Last night I was talking about this morning I was talking about oppressive regimes, and we're going to continue with that into 2019. Oppressive regimes. People in countries and places, including here in the United States and abroad, internationally, where they think that they control this fucking planet, man, and they really fucking don't. But they think they do in their minds because, you know, they're egomaniacs, they're megalomaniacs, they're despotic rulers, dictators, wannabes, and they think that they fucking run the whole show. You know, the mindset of somebody with that kind of psychology, man, that kind of personality, is just sickening, dude. It's fucking disgusting. It's like, really, dude, you really seriously think that God bestowed upon you all this power and that you're an actual global fucking controller? It's one thing to have tons of money, shitloads of money, and to be a zillionaire, but that doesn't mean that you control the fucking planet, dude. And that doesn't mean that you control people's minds and their souls. So that's the point, is that you have people who actually do think that they were brought to this planet by God to control the fucking masses, because that's how slick they think they are. They think that they're the shit on that level, man. And they're like, oh yeah, man, I came to this earth and I was, born into this royal family, and that means that I'm a controller of this planet. You're actually not. You're just privileged, monetarily speaking, but you don't fucking control the planet, even though you think you do. So we're going to be talking about oppressive regimes, countries that have gross human rights violations, countries that are abusive, different factions within countries that think that they control the fucking show and the flow of everything, and blah, blah, blah. That's what we're talking about. This is 2019. My grandfather was someone who fought fascists in World War II. He was in Germany, France, stationed off the Aleutian, on the Aleutian Islands, near Alaska, and he fought against fascism. He was a white Caucasian man, Englishman, and was against fascism. Lost a leg fighting in World War II. Had a prosthetic leg, limb, and was awarded a Purple Heart for his valor and for fighting fucking Nazis in World War II. So, carrying on his legacy, that's what I do, is I fight fascism, because fascism is the antithesis of human life on planet Earth. And man, that's what the fuck I'm all about, is anti-fascism. So, let's look at constructive ways to be the David in the equation of David and Goliath. So, man, I don't know if you know this, but I should just point this out. I've been rocking the 6-point Star of David logo with my entity for more than 20 years now, because that's what I'm about. That's my logo that I've been rocking, that I've been with for more than 20 years. So that's dedication, man. That's devotion. That's commitment. And you see, man, that I'm persistent in what I do. I persevere. And I come from a long lineage of folks who have served country. And that's what I do. I'm a U.S. government defense contractor. On paper, certified, and I'm fucking bona fide. And I've carried out a lot of successful operations with the government. I've been at different agencies, and I've been highly paid and paid for my services. So if I were some wacky fucking dude that's just crazy, right, I wouldn't be paid for my services, and I wouldn't be doing this type of work ongoing, and it wouldn't be a perpetual thing with the history of successful operations having been carried out. Yes, I was in a street gang when I was growing up, when I was younger, in my early 20s, and yes, I was on the streets wilding out, doing fucked up shit, selling weed and whatnot, man. And yeah, man, I rolled with the crew, and we fucking did what we had to do to survive. And then I went back to school, that is college, and I got certification in different areas of IT, government, defense, and the like. And, man, with my resume, I just fucking started knocking on doors like, yo, I'm qualified to do this shit. And I got hired, man. I got paid. And I invested that money in the stock market and in business. And, man, I've been working hard as a U.S. American citizen, man. And so I started this podcast. And what we do, man, we're a lot like the guardian angels here in New York, man. We defend whenever we can and protect whenever we can the weak, the mild-mannered, those who cannot, for whatever reason, defend themselves, man. And we look out for people, man, whenever we can. Because, man, growing up, man, I saw a lot of bullies, and I saw a lot of bullies, and I saw a lot of bullies. There were a lot of motherfuckers picking on kids when I was a kid, man. And, you know, we had to learn how to kung fu fight and shit back in the 70s and 80s, because if you didn't learn how to kung fu fight on the streets, then you would just be fucking, you know, you'd be victimized, man, by bullies and shit in the neighborhood. They'd come up and start, you know, trying to pick a fight with you, and then would pick a fight with you, and then, you know, they'd kick your ass, man. And so, you know, in order to survive, you had to learn how to kung fu fight, man, to fucking kick ass back. And that was just the way of life out west, man, in the wild fucking west. And so I talk about that on these podcasts, man. This is really, there are no bells and whistles here, man. I don't edit the fucking show. I don't go back and take out the ums and the ahs and the this and that, the clicks, the snaps, the pops. No, I just don't do that, because it's not even fucking worth my time. This is just recorded raw, mobile podcast. And, you know, you'd be amazed at the fact that people actually do, believe it or not, they do listen to this show, because some people can actually, believe it or not, man, relate to what I'm talking about. They actually fucking can. And as a matter of record, I never ask people to subscribe to the show. I just don't. I mean, it's not even really honestly worth my time. My philosophy, man, my business philosophy is you either like the show or you don't. You might even like the show and just not subscribe to it. That's just a mathematical fucking fact. So, I don't know, man. It's just always, you know, I don't know, man. To each his, her own. Some people do it and it works for them. Man, it's just always seemed really kind of fucking tacky, you know? And I get it. That's how people get their YouTube money and stuff like that. This is a podcast, man. And yeah, it does go to YouTube. But it's just kind of like, I'd rather have some organic likes where if somebody wants to like the show, they just organically like it. Like, I'm not telling them to like my shit. You know what I'm saying? That just seems like some brainwash shit to me. It's like, you either like my show or you fucking don't. And that's where I stand. So, what's going on in the world, man? It's 2019. Grove Teeter, your boy, checking in with the American people and our allies around the world. Obamacare, thank God, is fucking dead. Obamacare has ceased to exist. It is now non-existent, dead in the water, fucking dead as a doorknob, i.e. dead as fuck. Thank God, thank you, God, thank the good heavens. That shit was evil and it was wrong on many levels, and we're not going to talk much about it other than to say, good riddance, fuck off. Yeah, no more, man. That shit was Nazi wannabe Gestapo. Tell them motherfuckers that they gotta sign up for some state-controlled shit. No, we don't. And we beat you and we defeated you. And you're fucking gone now, sucker. So that's that. We're allies now with North Korea and Russia. And that's awesome. And, you know, China, man, with their Christmas tree thing, like taking down Christmas trees and stuff and being untoward with regard to Christians. Oh, man, I don't know how that's going to work out for China. I see that as being an economic loss on their part. At some point, man, they really just need to get over that whole, like, anti-Christian sentiment. I mean, it's okay, man, to, like, not like Christianity and to not like Buddhism or to not like Taoism or to not like whatever religion, because that's how you feel. And, you know, maybe you're an atheist, maybe you're not. You just don't like fucking religion. But being mean to Christians, dude, is wrong. I mean, we've shown you, dude, that we're a very powerful nation on planet Earth. And fucking with Christians, dude, and just doing hateful shit like that rather than just allowing Christians to, like, have a Christmas tree, Dude, seriously, you want to go after Christmas trees, dude? That's really petty. It really is. And I think the Chinese government is smart on some level. Obviously, they're very fucking smart. They're a world superpower now. And I think that at some point it will realize that it's just really bad for their economy to be mean to Christians and to take down Christmas trees. So I've been reading about these churches in China, man. These underground churches. It's an interesting phenomenon in terms of what's going on with those of the Christian faith. Chinese Christians in China who worship at these underground churches. Church might be someone's home. It might be an actual physical structure that is what one would see in the West as being a church. That is fascinating, man, and how the Chinese government has been cracking down on these observable churches as well as underground churches. I guess they just figure that they can do it and get away with it, and they don't mind some economic backlash because I guess they just figure that the benefits to them, which I guess they get a big kick out of it, and it makes them feel a certain kind of way, internally, like they get giddy about it, like it makes them feel good, and they get a really good laugh out of it, a really good jolly laugh out of it. By fucking destroying churches, because I guess that's part of communism, is to be anti-Christian. I guess to be part of the Antichrist system makes them feel good. I'm not saying the entire Chinese government, because obviously there are people in the Chinese government, some of them who are part of these underground churches. But I'm talking about the ones that are against Christianity. And it just makes them feel empowered to be part of the Antichrist system. And it's really disturbing, man. But that's a reality in this world today, is that some of the Chinese government is part of the Antichrist system. I mean, obviously, tearing down churches and telling Christians that they can't have Christmas trees and that they can't worship at churches and they can't have Christmas trees and they can't celebrate Christmas. That's anti-Christianity. And that equates to and is equal to, that is, and I'm saying this redundantly for emphasis, that is anti-Christ behavior. And I guess China figures that the good feeling that it gives some of the officials, the raucous, joyous, joyful laughter that results from destroying churches, I guess they feel that benefit to them, because to them it's a benefit, it makes them laugh. That benefit exceeds any type of economic. Look at the ratio. The benefit they get for being part of the Antichrist system of communism, it benefits them more than the economic toll that it will have on their citizens. Isn't that an interesting equation? And they can equivocate in that they can lie about what they're doing. They can equivocate, and they can be untruthful about the sheer magnitude, the actual overall impact, i.e. effect, yield that it is having with regard to the destruction of Christianity in China. They can lie, they can be untruthful and equivocate. Nonetheless, the economic toll that it has overall, it's got to be devastating, man, because at some point people just get sick of shit like that, and they're like, well, then we don't fucking need to go to China. If China wants to be communist, i.e. Antichrist, and we're Christian, then why the fuck would we spend any money with an Antichrist country? Or go to a country where there's a large number of anti-Christians, where the Antichrist system is much larger in pockets of this particular country. Fuck that. We're not going to spend any money with the Antichrist system. So, I'm sure China will feel the impact of that on some level in terms of their economy. And I'm just pointing out facts. It's a fact that this is happening. If you don't believe it, just Google it. China Christmas trees, China Christmas trees, China churches, China underground churches. And it just comes right up, man. And just right there in your glowing box, you just type in some glyphs, just type your glyphs into the glowing box and it will appear. And you can read the data objects, the imagery there. It's right there for you at the speed of light on a light wave, on a beam of light. because that's how the internet is all connected. It's via radio spectrum, radio waves in the spectrum, and radio waves are the same as light waves. It's all light energy. So, yeah, that's just wrong, China officials who are doing that. And again, I'm not saying everyone in China is behind it. And then you've got what's going on in Saudi Arabia with the oppressive regime there and everything that country is doing to crack down on dissidents and to be violent toward women and women who have come out and they've talked about the demonic nature of the current government and the crown prince who is destroying part of his country, Bin Salman, MBS. In fact, I just read this article tonight. It was really interesting about this young man, very smart young man from what I've read. He made a Netflix presentation about the Antichrist system in Saudi Arabia under Bin Salman, who's part of that Antichrist system. And he talks about how the Saudi government has it's spun out of control and it's doing all this evil shit. And the Saudi government, in its as part of the Antichrist system, it contacted Netflix and it cited some type of fucking made up fake law in their country that they made to help facilitate the Antichrist system, the system of oppression, where they oppress women and anybody who says anything derogatory about even if it's objective and even if it's honest, anybody that says anything honest about the kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Bin Salman, who's part of the Antichrist system, if anybody says anything in their country that goes against the Antichrist system of Bin Salman and their other officials there who are all in on it and part of it, it's illegal and they claim it's a cyber crime. So Netflix, they actually took the video down on the Saudi side, but it's still up on the American side, and you can read about it. In fact, let's Google it together. I took a screenshot of it and had started to read through it. It's very fascinating, and I commend is what I meant to say. I commend this young man for making this presentation and for taking the stance against the Antichrist system of Saudi Arabia. He's doing the right thing, because what the Saudi government is doing is not what God wants. There's no rational God in this universe of ours that would condone what the Saudi government is doing. No real God, no real true God of any faith. I'm talking about Islam. I'm talking about Christianity. I'm talking about anyone who believes in a monotheist belief system. Anyone who is part of a monotheist system, believes in monotheism, is a monotheist, believes in one God, one true God that designed all the universe. If you want to say there are other gods, but that there was a God that created those gods, the Anunnaki, the Sumerians, whoever, whatever, the Akkadians going back since time immemorial, the Greys, the Nephilim, whatever. The one God that created it all, that gave beings under that one God, true God, dominion, right? That one God, rational God, all-seeing God, does not condone what the rogue officials, the Antichrist officials of Saudi Arabia are doing. Doesn't agree with it. So this screenshot that I took says Minhaj. Let's see. It says, quote, let's see. What is this source here? We're going to have to look this up. So I had a screenshot, but we need to get a proper citation here. I didn't get the full data there. Minhaj, I read it. Okay, it looks like it's coming up as okay, is this Hassan? Let's look. Here we go. Top stories. Netflix, this is from NPR 4 hours ago. Netflix drops Hassan Minhaj episode in Saudi Arabia at government's request. Isn't that some fucking Nazi shit? Isn't that some goddamn fucking Nazi shit? If I were Netflix officials, I would have told Saudi Arabia, fuck you. Fuck off. No, fuck you. We're not fucking with your Nazi government, okay? We don't bow to, we don't obey Nazi Antichrist governments. Fuck you. January 1, 2009, 6:43 p.m. Eastern Time by Ian Stewart. That's the proper citation there. And just to paraphrase it and summarize it for y'all, it basically goes on to describe how Hassan here, he spoke out against the Saudi oppressive regime, and he brings up the issue of the heinous killing of the Washington Post reporter Jamal Khashoggi. And just to properly cite one block of code here, let's see, it says, quote, the episode was also posted to the show's YouTube page, which is reportedly still accessible inside Saudi Arabia. Okay, so this is, according to these numerous news sources going back a few hours, it's still up. This video that Hassan has created regarding the despotic regime that is the wayward, imploding, currently corrupt Antichrist regime of Saudi Arabia. The video wasn't really truly taken down all over the world, just on the Saudi side. So it can still be seen if you want to check it out. And I would urge everyone in the world who has access to this data to check out this presentation by Hassan Minhaj, because the Saudi government needs to be taught a fucking lesson about what happens to Nazi fucking regimes, fascist fucking regimes, oppressive regimes, when they believe that they control the world and they think they can fucking do whatever the fuck they goddamn want to do, and that there are no repercussions for the fucking shit that they're doing. They think that there's no repercussions for the shit that they're doing. Obviously, these motherfuckers in Saudi Arabia have no fucking recollection of World War II. They have no recollection of Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich and how they were fucking destroyed by us. They obviously have no recollection of the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and the various assassinations that our government has carried out globally when fucking countries get out of control, like Saudi Arabia's government has spiraled out of fucking control to the point of imploding on itself, because people aren't gonna fucking put up with the bullshit in terms of despotic regimes like Saudi's current government under the wannabe iron-fisted control in quotation marks of Bin Salman. People don't put up with that shit in the 21st fucking century. We have drones with fucking armed with lasers right out of some Terminator movie shit, and that shit is real as fuck. You might not see them in the skies right now, but they exist, and our Pentagon and our government has them, and we have them, and they fucking exist. So it's just a matter of time. The clock ticks before Bin Salman is brought to fucking justice. And that's what we're talking about here on the show in 2019. We don't put up with any bullshit by way of despotic, global, wannabe, Nazi fucking ruler dictators. We don't do that shit. Look what happened to Gaddafi. Look what happened to Osama bin Laden. Look what happened to Charles Taylor. Look what happened to Milosevic. Look what happened to any of the motherfuckers in the world, man. Saddam Hussein. Bin Salman, does he think that he's an exception to the rule? He's just a sick in his mind motherfucker who, for some twisted, warped, demented reason, thinks that he's actually going to get away with what he did, and he's not.